In this video we're going to talk about auditing formulas. So in the ribbon, if you click on formulas, you'll see there's a whole tab called formula auditing, and this is what we're going to discuss in this video. In this formula I've got a tax rate and I've got some formulas that depend on that, and the commission I've got on a different sheet, the commission rate. If you get some sheets from people and you don't know what formulas get used where, this is where audit formula comes into play. If I click on tax rate for instance and say show me all dependents or trace dependents, what this will do, it will actually draw an arrow to the actual cells that uses this value in the formula. So if you click on this tax rate, you will see here it gets multiplied by the tax rate. So this shows you those. If you don't do anything else, this arrows will stay, so you just click on remove arrows and it will disappear again. Or you can do the opposite. So if you have an answer, you say trace precedents and it will show you this value here uses the sales and the tax rate to give you the tax. So that's one way. So dependents will show you where it's used and precedent shows where the values come from. If you remember, this commission rate is not on the same sheet as here, so in this commission here, if I say trace dependents, well, dependents shows where this is used. This is just used in the sum, but if I trace precedents, you'll see what happens now. It brings a cell over and then you will see this icon of a sheet with a dotted line. One of the weird things about when you see that is to get to the value on the other sheet, you mustn't double click on the sheet. You must actually double click on this dotted line here. So if I double click on that, you'll see there if there's multiple sheets and multiple cells, but you just select one of them, click OK, and it will jump to that. So this is how you can jump across sheets. The only thing to remember is to double click on the line and not on the icon there. So if I remove this again, another thing I also want to show you is sometimes if you have a formatted sheet like this, you cannot quickly see where there's formulas and where there's not, and this is a button you can click here, show formulas, and it will show every cell, and rather than the value it will show the formula. One of the weird things also again here is if you click on show formulas, you'll see it formats the columns to a default width and it doesn't always quite fit in with the sheet, but if you unclick it, it goes back to its original formatting. But it will quickly show you where there is a formula on your sheet. The next thing I want to look at is this watch window over here. So in this case we have our commission rate on another sheet. The commission follows into all these formulas, and then here at the bottom we add it up. But now if I'm on this sheet, I want to see what's the impact on this total commission by changing the percentage, and it's very difficult to see across sheets. So what you can do is you can click on any cell, click on watch window, add a watch. So here you can still select the cell if you wanted to, click on add. So here you can see that value now is 27,000. This watch window you can resize the way you want, but what's different about this watch window, it will always stay on top. So if I now go to the other sheet, here's our value, and if I select this to 4%, there you can see it change to 36,000. If I change it to 6% or 5%, you'll see it change to 45,000. And you can have quite a few of these values here, and you can keep track of it as you work through any other values. So that's what the watch window is. You can add more watches like I said, or if you select one you can delete the watch and now you have nothing to watch. So that's what the watch window is. It's just a floating window where you can keep track of values of other cells. And the last thing I want to show you under formula auditing is this button here. It says evaluate formula. So in here you'll see I have a formula, not too complicated, 10 plus 10 which is 20, multiplied by 20 plus 10 which is 20, and 20 times 20 is 400, and that's where you get there. This is a simple formula, but let's suppose you had a complicated formula. Then you can click on evaluate formula, and here you will see the formula written out like you see in the formula bar here, but you'll see the pieces underlined is the first piece it's going to evaluate, and this is where your math rules from school comes into play, where things inside brackets get evaluated first, and then multiplication, and then plus and minus. But here it will show you what will happen first. So if you will see that underlined piece is going to get evaluated first. So if you click on evaluate, you'll see that became 20. So you click on evaluate. So now it's going to jump to the next set of parentheses or brackets. Click on evaluate, that's going to become 20, and now you can have 20 times 20, and that evaluates to 400. You can restart this process and step by step go through that again and close. So that's how you can step by step through some complicated formulas and see which part of the formula gives you what answer. Another way, so this is the same formula, but this time rather than having the value 10 plus 10, I have values of cells here. So I reference cells in here. So what's slightly different here, if you click on evaluate formula, the evaluation will still work the same. So C3 becomes 10, E3 is 10, 10 plus 10 is 20, same thing here, 10 plus 10 is 20, and you get 400. But when this is a reference to something else like C3, you see at the bottom is an extra button that says step in. If you click on step in, it will actually tell you that C3 is the value inside that cell is 10. So you can see what it is. If you step out, you would have put it in there, or you can just evaluate it if you wanted to. So if you have a reference to somewhere else, you can step in, it will show you what the value is, because this could be more complicated than this, a simple cell. Step out and evaluate, and that's how you can follow a formula step by step until you get to the answer. So that in short is how you use formula auditing. Hi, this is Anton from the Data Developer channel. If you've liked this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up below and subscribing to the channel. And thank you for watching.